With many of his friends either dead or in jail, 20-year-old Nikk picked up a camera and started taking pictures and blogging about it. Now, 7 years later, he's got a full-time job, a Kickstarter movie, and it's asking people to picture a change. This week on Make It. Hey, Nikk.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on the show. Love your work. For those people that are watching at home that are not familiar with you and your work, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm Nikk. I'm from Oakland, California. Lived here all my life, and I've been shooting photos for the last 7 years now.
Wow, 7 years.
Yeah.
And so what got you into taking pictures?
So growing up in Oakland, I got in a lot of trouble with my peers. At the time, my grandma had passed away, and I wish I had more photos of her. And during the same time, a lot of my friends were either getting locked up or getting killed. So I wanted something to capture just more moments and stuff. So I picked up a camera. I just woke up one day, I have to get a camera today. I bought a camera, and then within the first hour shooting, I knew it was like something I had to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. What was it that you just felt? Like, was it taking photos, or was it the photos that you saw? What was it that actually connected so strongly with you?
So taking pictures of my friends within that first hour, just seeing the moments of them smiling, laughing, it just resonated to me. Like, this is really fun, and this is something I want to do. I never really had anything where I felt that way. So just doing that and taking those photos, something told me like I had to do this forever.
That's awesome. So what did you do after you took a couple pictures of your friends? You fell in love with it within an hour. It's like love at first shot, right? So you're in love with photography. Well, how did you go from there?
I had a blog at the time, and pretty much the blog was just pictures of my regular life and pictures of my friends when we hang out every day or during the weekends. It was something that I wanted to have them, have on the website or online, where they can actually just go on there and view it. Like, we can come back a few years from now and just see things that we were doing. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff is taken down for legal reasons. But it was also because we never knew who was going to pass next. Like, I have friends on there, pictures of friends that passed away since I've taken their photos. So that type of stuff, it's really memorable, and it's something I wish I did earlier, but I'm really happy that I picked it up and started doing at that time.
Right. So you had this blog, you had this like passion for doing it, the hobby. How did you turn it into your career?
So I was working at an elementary school. I always thought giving back is something important, because when I was younger, I wish I had that role model that told me to do these things. But because I didn't or have anything to do, I was getting in trouble. So I worked at elementary school, which after school I just helped kids to just be themselves. We did like homework, did enrichment. So I was doing sports at the time. And then my boss, she came up to me, was like, why don't you do photos? Would you want to teach photos as a curriculum? So I started doing that, and I seen results right away. Like, kids were super motivated to go to class every day.
Really?
A lot of the kids that weren't going as much.
What grade was this?
This was from anywhere from 2nd to 5th grade.
Wow. So even at 2nd grade, kids were excited about coming in and take pictures.
Yeah, they're super pumped.
That's fun.
It might be because I had my camera every day, and they were just like, they just really intrigued by how it looked and what it did. So they wanted a chance to play with it as much as they could. So we bought cameras. I taught 30 kids every 2-3 weeks. And it was just a curriculum of what I thought would be fun. So it wasn't about how to take photos. It was more about the things you can do with a camera. So we did like time-lapse stuff, night photos, and just field trips where we just go out, photo hunt, stuff like that. It worked out really well. I taught over 300 students in Oakland. My best friend came up with an idea. I was like, why don't we do something like this somewhere around the world, see how effective it could be, since you're affecting these kids so much. Now they want to be photographers. They're going to class every day. And at the time, there was a grant going on at his school where if you came up with the idea, you can win $10,000 to do it. But we ended up not getting it, unfortunately, but we're like, you know what, let's just do it anyways. So we purchased the plane tickets, and then we raised money through Kickstarter. We had a goal of $10,000, and we reached it within probably like 20 days. So we bought a bunch of equipment, flew to Brazil. And the reason why we picked Brazil, at the time, Rio de Janeiro was the second most dangerous place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people didn't know that. They just thought of Rio as for the beaches,
Right.
but there was a lot of gangs, and a lot of it was being swept up at the time for the Olympics, getting cleaned up.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of violence and stuff going on. So we went there, we stayed in Rio for a month. We taught at a local community where they had kids come in after school, like what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there we taught the kids how to take photos. And also we stayed in the favelas for a month. This way we can, get access to the community, learn about the community, and just not just come in and go out. That was really cool, because a lot of the areas that we're teaching were run by gangs.
Mm.
We met up with one of the local, I guess he was like the head of one of the gangs out there, and he was impressed with what we were doing, so he pretty much took us around and told every gangster that we were here to do this, so if they seen us, not to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what was it that you were looking to do? I mean, you were saying, well, obviously with teaching kids back in Oakland, that gave them this interest in becoming more engaged in school. What did you hope to do by going down to Brazil, for example, with your camera gear?
Yeah, so we had an idea, and it was called Picture or Change, because we believe that a picture can spark a change.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a change by doing anything. And for us, photography changed my life in a way that I could never, explain, but I wanted to give that to the kids around the world. And coming from where I was at, I wanted to let the kids know that, if you grew up with gangs and there's more options than you can think of. You don't have to be a drug dealer. You don't have to only be a doctor or whatever your parents want you to be. You can do anything that you want. And we wanted to tell the kids that, there's more options, and the stuff that you see on TV or the stuff that's going around your neighborhood, that doesn't have to be your life.
Right.
You can do whatever you want to do. And that was pretty much our intent going there.
And what have you been doing with those photos?
So the first project, what we did was we wanted to go out there and teach the kids. And of course, we left all the equipment for the kids. We bought laptops, school supplies, cameras, and then after we left, we actually found local photographers to come in to take over so the kids can continue doing this stuff. But we also wanted the kids to publish their own first book. So with the photos that they take and the photos that we took, we made a book and we held a gallery in SFAI. And with the gallery, we had prints that the kids took, prints that I took, and the books that we made. And we pretty much sold it, and all the proceeds went back to the community so they can keep doing it. And by doing that, it was really fulfilling, because that's something that we love to do.
Right.
We wanted to do more projects like that, but it wasn't sustainable, because every time we did something like that, we came out of pocket 10 to 15,000.
Right.
So we had an idea of making a film. This way, we can use that film and show people around the world of what we're doing and sell the film. So after we sell the film, 50% will go back to those communities that we helped, and 50% will go back, to doing more stuff like this so we can help more people out.
Right. And so how's that film going?
So we finished shooting it, and right now we're actually still editing it, so it's still some time. Yeah.
How does it feel, though? It
feels good, kids love it, community feels good about what they're doing, and we feel good about what we're doing, and we're just trying to spread love.
That's awesome. That's really great. And is that your full-time gig, is being part of this Picture Change?
Picture Change is, I would say it's full-time, but it's also half-time, because I'm also working as a commercial photographer on the side.
Right.
That pretty much pays the bills, but with that money I can do stuff like this, which where my heart is at.
Right, that's awesome. And so, like, what kind of commercial stuff are you shooting?
So I shoot a lot of stuff for like Ford, did a lot of stuff for like Range Rover, a lot of cars, a lot of products like Beats by Dre, stuff like that.
That's awesome. So you've been able to take this like love at first shot that you've had, take it from there, teach kids, show people that you can change the world through photography, and you're also able to use your love of photography to still sustain all these other projects that you want to have. That's really awesome. Well, let's take a look at some of your photos. I think that this would be really awesome to check out and see exactly how you do what you do.
All right, cool.
Let's take a look at some photos, Nick.
Yeah, so here's photos. This is a set from Cape Town, from our Picture Change Around the World project. And my approach to this is just shoot whatever catches my eye. This is where the majority of the people from the townships just throw out the trash. A lot of the times the government doesn't have enough money or just doesn't have enough time to have the garbage men to come pick up the trash. So what they do is they throw it out, and hopefully it makes such a big mess that the government has to come in and do something about it. So here are kids in a local community, just a daycare, and as you can see inside, it's lit by one light, and that's all they have in there. This is during the winter time, so it was roughly around 40 degrees, so it's pretty cold, 40, 50 degrees. So this is from a township called Overcome. There's a lot of water here. When it rains, it just stays trapped there. There's no sort of plumbing or anything that's going through the city. So a lot of times the families, they're breathing this in every day. They're walking through this, and a lot of this water actually goes into the houses.
Oh, wow.
And my approach to shooting this is just using a rangefinder camera, as you can see here. And a good thing about this camera is it's super small and discreet. So when you're shooting it, no one pays attention. Another cool thing about it is you can use meter focusing, which I can talk about later. And so you know exactly what's going to be in focus and what's going to be in the shot without even looking at the camera.
Right, so you're not drawing attention to yourself. So everybody here is kind of looking off, looking down here, and you're just, you're in the scene. You're not like observing it, you're not drawing attention to yourself.
Yeah, with this camera, you just feel like you're in it. They don't see anything else but yourself, just because it's not big and flashy.
Right.
That's why I love this, shooting with this camera. So this is how the houses are built. They're just lots of shacks that are built with just wood laying around. This is the stuff that we were working at, and we were living here as well. I feel like living and being there is the best way to get to know a community, rather than just flying in, coming in with cameras and taking pictures and leaving.
Right. How long did you stay here?
We were here for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, wow.
2 weeks.
And how did you find out about this location?
So with the Picture Change project, we reached out to over 100 organizations. 10 reached out to us because what we were asking for was an exchange for the videos and stuff to help your nonprofit. We just need a place to stay and people to work with. And these people said, it's fine, you guys can come stay with us. And those are the people that we chose to work with. So
they were some community leaders already in the community?
So there were community leaders that were doing great stuff in their neighborhoods already. So when we come in here, we're not shooting right away. We spend at least a day or two just learning about the families, getting to know them. And then we'll take a few days just like to explore the neighborhood, meet the people. So when we come with cameras, they're not like shocked and worried about what we're doing there. And then we start filming.
That's interesting.
So here's a shot that I got just shooting from the hip. A great thing about the rangefinder system is you know exactly how far the subject is, and with that you can actually set it up where if I'm shooting from 4 feet to 12 feet, I know exactly what's going to be in focus. So you can actually just walk around and just click, 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 and you'll know what's going to be sharp or not.
Right. So you don't actually even look in. So in this photo, you didn't actually even compose it in frame.
No.
So you actually were able to catch it because the composition is really great.
Yeah.
So you did a great job composing it. Is this something that you practiced a lot to get good at composing, or is it like a luck thing, or how do you do that?
It's a balance of both, I guess. Because once in a while you get used to, you know exactly what your frame is. If you're shooting it from your neck, which I'm used to now. You know exactly what's going to be in the shot or not. And it depends on the focal length of what you use. So I know for this shot, I seen a girl crying, and I know if I took the camera out to put in my face to shoot it, she probably would have moved, you know, did something with her face because she didn't want to be in the photo. But having a rangefinder, being just super discreet, you can just take the photos without people even knowing sometimes.
Some of the best street photographers shoot with rangefinders, and so maybe you can just help us understand a little bit about what draws you to a rangefinder.
Yeah, so first thing is size. I love how having a small camera traveling around the world, it doesn't give people like that eye like, oh shoot, he has a flashy camera, like that's worth something. This, they don't think too much of it.
But I see that you also like put some tape on it to blank
hide the
out
logo so it looks like a broken cheap camera, a vintage camera maybe. So on here, there's like 4 sets of numbers. The first top is the aperture. So you set your aperture to what you want. The next one is the actual meters. So there's 2 numbers. The first top in the gold is feet, and then the bottom is by meters. And then the bottom one is actually the aperture again. So for example, the easiest way that I learned is shooting at f8. So if you set it to f8, you will look at the numbers at the bottom. So you look at the 8 and the 8 over here. So when you're focusing, any numbers that land on the 8 and the other 8, it will be in focus.
So everything between those two
everything
ranges.
between. So if I set it up to right here, everything from 4 feet all the way up into 12 feet will be in focus.
Oh, that's great.
So having that and that knowledge, I can just walk around and click, and I know.
Because now you're at about 4 feet, you know that
everything here will be in focus.
How did you learn like how to like estimate distances? Is that something you just trial and error? Did you actually walk around with like a little laser?
No, it's trial and error. You're just guesstimating. Like having that big range, you're not gonna miss much. But when you're shooting at shallow depth of field, where only 4 feet will be in focus, that's when you have to like practice over and over. I know this is like 3 feet or 4 feet. Right. Yeah, but it takes some time. But it was just all trial and error.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Nikk, for coming by and sharing your photos. You have wonderful photos. I really love your project and what you're working on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it's been great. And thank you, everybody at home, for checking out and watching us. And we'll see you next time.